through on how to approach paper 2 question 1. So the first thing you'll want to do is have a quick read of the question to make sure you know what is expected of you. So it says here, read again the first part of source A from lines 1 to 4. That means you only need to be looking at lines 1 to 4. It then tells you that you need to choose 4 statements which are true from the options below. And it tells you to shade the circles in the boxes of the ones that you think are true, choosing a maximum of 4 statements. If you make an error, cross out the whole box. If you change your mind and require a statement that has been crossed out, then draw a circle around the box. And it's important that you pay attention to those instructions, as this question is marked by a computer and therefore the computer will only read certain symbols. So those are our 8 statements there, and we need to select the 4 that are true. Before we can do that, we need to make sure that we read lines 1 to 4 of source A. The coal was exposed and windy. Directly beneath us, the glacier we had walked up 5 days ago curved away towards the crevices which led to base camp, nearly 3,000 feet below us. It would take many long lowerings, but it was all downhill, and we had lost the sense of hopelessness that had evaded us on the ice cliff. So now that I've read that, I need to look very quickly at the statements again. Now my advice is that you don't start by shading in these boxes. Instead, I would suggest that you read through all of the statements to decide if you think they are true or not, and just place a little tick along this side of the 4 that you think are true. This means that you won't end up making errors that you find it difficult to undo. So, the climbers were sheltered from the wind. Well, that's false, because the first line says that it was exposed and windy, so I know that that one is not true. The glacier was higher up the mountain. Well, that's not true, because it tells me in the opening one that directly beneath us, so that means the glacier was lower. They had been on the mountain for at least 5 days. Well, I believe that's true, because it says here we had walked up 5 days ago. Base camp was more than 3,000 feet below them. It says that base camp was nearly 3,000 feet, so I believe that that one is false. E. Joe thought they would make it back to base camp quickly. Well, it says that it would take many long lowerings, so I believe that one to be false. F. There were no more uphill sections to climb, and it says here that it was all downhill, so I believe that that one is going to be true. The climbers were feeling more positive now than they were before. Well, again, if we check here, it tells us that we had lost the sense of hopelessness that had evaded us. So yeah, that makes me think that they probably are being more positive. So I'm going to say that that one is true. And then finally, on the ice cliff, the climbers had felt overwhelmed by despair. Well, if I go back to that section that I literally just looked at, it tells me they'd lost the sense of hopelessness that had invaded us at the ice cliff. So to me, that makes me believe that yeah, they had felt overwhelmed by despair. If I check my answers now, I can see that I've only selected 4 statements to be true, and so those are the 4 that I believe are to be true. So I'm just going to shade in these little lozenges with inside the box for the 4 that I believe are correct. And yep, those are the 4 correct answers, so that would see me achieve a mark of 4 out of 4.